Hi everyone and welcome back to SunBurst Tarot, where today we're doing a reading on CEOs and their kind of future here going into 2025. So as we've seen with the recent passing of Brian Thompson, the United Healthcare CEO in New York, there's been a lot of unsympathetic ears, it feels like, on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, social media in general, with people just not having a lot of empathy for people at the top who have a lot of money and are now kind of getting pew-pewed on the sidewalk. So I wanted to take a look into, are we going to be seeing other CEOs maybe getting targeted this year? And if so, who are maybe some CEOs that we all know right now that might be having some issues or non-issues? So we're taking a look at Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, and Bob Iger from Disney to see, do they have some maybe scandals coming this year? And maybe what sort of scandals will we be hearing about this coming year going into 2025 with CEOs and greedy corporations? So if that interests you, feel free, stick around. So news and announcements. Reminder, if you want to book a personal reading with me, you can do so using my website link down below. $3 bleh. Uh, yeah. I'm running a 10% off discount there with using the coupon code holidays24 at checkout. You can get 10% off any reading, whether that's an in-person or a video. Otherwise, if you would like to otherwise, if you want to become a YouTube member, you can do so using my the link in the pinned comment down below, or just doing the join button, which is right next to my name on desktop version. For $3 a month, you can get access to videos like this early, extended readings, exclusive readings, access to discounts on personal readings, as well as members' lives, where we are digging into topics that you guys want to hear, juicy, uncensored, and unfiltered. So if any of that interests you, feel free, check that out. Otherwise, disclaimer, reminder, everything I am saying is all alleged and for entertainment purposes only. No facts here, y'all, just my opinions, psychic downloads, and the such. So if you want to use what I'm saying to help form your own thoughts, opinions, and conclusions, please do so. If you don't want to, you don't have to. So thank you for listening to me, and I will see you guys in the reading. Hi everyone, and welcome to the video. So what we're going to be doing today is we're looking at general sentiment. Are CEOs going to be kind of like, I don't know, allegedly hunted down here in 2025? Is there a reason or more for the public to know about as we're kind of moving into 2025, the age of Aquarius and upheaval, breaking down old structures that no longer serve us? And with the tragic passing of UHC CEO Brian Thompson, are we looking at more CEOs potentially going down due to practices that they've had in the last 20 years in the age of Capricorn? And are we going to kind of maybe see more of that? So what I plan on doing, we're going to look at the general vibe of what did Brian Thompson's passing, what does that sparked in other people? Like, is this like a very catalytic moment? So we have the Justice card reversed here. So it's like bad decision making, justice isn't being served in a general grand scheme of things here. This is bad decision making from people on high, because there has not been progress moving forward. It's like we've been stuck in the past. We aren't moving. We aren't progressing. We're kind of just staying stuck in the mud. Also here with the Chariot, this is giving me the sense of it's a pharaoh on a chariot, right? And when I saw it reversed, I was thinking, well, yeah, all these pharaohs got how their riches, their fames, their fortunes buried underground in their giant like the valley of the dead, or is it the valley of the kings, I think it's called, where there's so many like burial sites that like are hidden underground. It's like, yeah, and look at all this wealth, all this money, all this material things that are kind of being kept where they're at. They have not progressed. They have not trickled down in this trickle down society. Also, promises have not been kept. People have been saying one thing, doing another. That Magician reversed. from a financial aspect, it's like they've been snake oil salesmen. They've been taking money and putting it in their own pockets. Hopes and fears. They want to continue doing what they're doing without consequences. It's the fool upright. It's like we're just gonna kind of keep doing lackadaisical, do la 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 la. They don't see anything outside of out of the blinders that they have put on. Now let's look at what's kind of coming up for our CEO class that has not been doing so well. There is a transformation a coming. A new cycle is starting. The world is waking up. The world is seeing different things. They're seeing the transition, and there is a transition happening. What I would get from this card, looking at CEOs, they're like, the world has been very peaceful so far. The world's been very peaceful. They've been kind of just sitting back and not allow, and just like, how do I put this? The human population, or like, I would just say, let's look at the United States. The United States has had so much shit put on top of them, whether that's money, whether that's debt, whether that's claims, whether that's grief, whether that's sadness, whether that's non hope. Like, the American people have been kind of like, there's only so much shit you can pile on someone before they either collapse and then they just lay over and don't do anything, or they're like, I'm not carrying this anymore, put it off to the side and start a revolt. That is kind of the energy here. It's like the people are transforming to this peaceful of like peacefully suffering to, you know what, you want to do bad things, we'll also do bad things. You want to give a shit? Okay, we won't give any shits. We will become the villains you have made us become. The other challenge here, the world is also starting to see through the shit. It's starting to see through the illusions that have been put into place. I love that it's both the world card and the world card. For CEOs, for people at the top who have been making decisions to line their pockets and no one else's, this great trickle down economy that they call it from capitalistic society will no longer be. Or it is having a major shift here within the next 20 years. And even within 2025, as more people are starting to wake up and become the villains that the CEOs have made the people become in their version of events. Because this world card here, it's like, as the other challenge, the world's waking up. The illusions no longer exist. You start seeing through them. And people, with the Lover's card here as well, just this energy, there is no sympathy. Look at, I don't know if anyone's been on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram or any other social media platform. The amount of memes, the amount of empathy, the amount of I just don't give a shit no more has pretty much been like, it's out there. I think some of a meme that I found that I'm most like, it kind of encapsulates a lot of the hatred that the American people are finding for people on the top. What was it? It's like the Bugs Bunny clip of rabbit season, duck season, rabbit season, duck season, rabbit season, duck season, CEO season. And again, it's turning into, I would be very afraid if I'm a CEO. I would not be, I saw that there's been people taking, if you're a publicly traded company, just letting people know, if you're a publicly traded company, your administration, your C-suite must be publicly available. Just letting other people know that. And I've seen that there are some websites, some other people out there, other services, other publicly traded companies who have taken down their About Them sections or the About Them web pages. Just letting you know that information must be publicly available from a publicly traded company standpoint. So just letting y'all know that. Okay, here in the past, this is the Medusa card, the High Priestess. People were not listening. This is a spiritual event. These are spiritual things that are coming in. It's like people weren't connected to their higher selves. They were thinking with their brain rather than from a, how can I look at this in a whole sense? So, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. And then here in the future, the Strength card reversed. Weakness, ego, pride taking over. Uh, don't expect the CEOs to go down without a fight. What I'm getting brought into, medieval times where kings, queens, the dukes, the duchesses would have like their royal guard around them. Expect that kind of same situation to be coming in. There will be increased security around individuals with wealth, money, fame, and power. Uh, it's just how that's going to go. And you know what? Viva la revolution, maybe? Question mark. But expect that. There is a genuine fear, it feels like here, but there is a genuine change. Like the things that they used to be able to get away with will no longer work. Is kind of what I'm seeing here. So I'm going to look specifically at 2025 for our CEOs and what are some major things that might be coming out here in the public for our CEOs, whether that's going to be something that's publicly put out on the news for people to see, or if that's going to be some like major events that are going to be coming about. So what I'm planning on doing here, so I'm going to pull from our true crime conspiracy deck, and then I'm going to actually pull out my own little homemade true crime and conspiracy deck, which I'm gonna act as like clarifiers to these situations to try and figure out what are these situations, how are they going to be kind of integrated in with CEOs and the such. So yeah, so. Also, I want to take a look at some specific CEOs that people might be curious about, which we'll do in a little bit. But let's take a look. What is some major events and/or news here for CEOs in 2025 that maybe they should be worried about, but news that might be put out into the public? So we have landfill, we have greed, and we have perversion. Oh, wonderful. Do I need to grab any more? Okay. And now I'm going to grab out some clarifiers from a landfill here. What is this kind of all meaning? We'll grab 3 for landfill. We'll then grab 3 for greed to explain greed. If anyone wants to come out. Okay, and then we'll grab 3 for perversion. Alright. I'm going to put those up there, those here, those here. So I'm going to try and get these all. Okay, so for landfill, what can we get about here? We have issues with recollection, modifying memory. We have run out of time, and we have ready to rumble, fight. Interesting. It's like the battle of the trash heap. A little bit here. This is interesting. It's time to take out the trash almost too. It's like, so at the landfill, it's like we got to take out the trash. Issues with recollection, running out of time, and fight though. When it comes to CEOs. So, you know how the Wayback Machine went down and hackers went into the Wayback Machine to try and, I have a whole reading on it. I'll try and remember to put the card up here so you guys can see it. But what this gives me is there's something, either decisions or votes, or what I'm seeing are pieces of paper, and it's like these pieces of paper were like, we're voting for such and such policies or implementation of something X, Y, and Z. There are going to be people who say, well, I didn't vote for that. Oh, I didn't do it like that. Oh, we weren't a part of that administration. Oh, we weren't a part of those decision-making things. And it's like what people are trying to do is cover their tracks. But it's like where they threw out their stuff, it's like Some CEOs are trying to cover their tracks and decisions that they've made. Whether that's we're trying to scrub the internet of decisions that we've said, interviews that we've had, we're trying to go through our own records to make sure that, like, if I said something, or if there's like, because what I'm getting is that there's like a notes, like someone was taking notes in a meeting about certain decisions or certain things, especially in board meetings, like they voted on things, and they're, because I've taken notes in board meetings before. Fun fact about me, used to be I used to do notes for board meetings for like startups and stuff. So like sometimes you will do, like, you have to be like, oh, this person brought it to motion, this person seconded it, this person thirded it, and then that motion passed. So some people, I think, are trying to go in and say, oh, they did not bring this to the table, they're not the ones who seconded it, they didn't vote for it, so that this passed. So that's what it's giving me. Like, someone's going to say, hey, I didn't say that, but then there's going to be records or notes of it, because you need to put down the notes to have that. And like, their story is being, how do I put this? Like, they're trying to manipulate the story or the truth of the situation. I'm looking at this here with the running out of time and the fight card as well. Like, people are going to fight for these decisions, or people are going to be shown that they fought for things that you thought they might not have fought for. Also, with the running out of time, I think people are trying to, in this case, because it's like, what, early winter, running out of time. This is a really cool card. I love it. But so the climate changed and the world suffered. So this might be with big oil companies. And big oil companies might be kind of, there's going to be more information coming out in a very big, I don't know if it's a big expose, but these are things that are long been buried that are now starting to come up out of the woodwork again. Because that early winter is also giving me the sense of, some people are going to need to leave, retire, or get out of Dodge much quicker than what they thought they would. All right, so that's what we're seeing here when it comes to landfill. All right, let's look at greed here. What can we get for greed? We have more fighting. We have so much fight, but this is a different one where it's a tavern brawler. Because like, this fight down here is ready to rumble. So like, how these two differ in my perspective here is that with the landfill here and the fight, this is like organized crime coming in to fight. This down here is like, this is the individuals. These are like the people, the general public fighting against this. We also have hoarding prep, stocking the pantry. And big news everywhere. Explosive impact. Come on. So what I'm getting from greed here, we're going to be knowing about actually how much money I think that companies have actually kept to themselves, and just the amount of money that they have saved and not given out to the people. So an example that kind of comes to my mind is the healthcare. Let's take a look at healthcare. I think what we're going to be seeing is how much money that these healthcare companies have, I should say health insurance companies have taken in versus how much they have actually paid out. And you're going to look at that number and be like, what do you mean 10% of all the money, or 11% or 12% of all the money paid into these organizations, into these insurance companies, has actually been spent for the care of the people who've paid for it? It's an astronomical number of how much has actually been paid out versus how much has been paid in. Like, that's like this number is horrendous. And maybe it's not as low as 11%. It could be somewhere closer to like 21, 24%. Somewhere in between there, it kind of feels like. But like, the amount of money that has been put into these companies, and I'm just not saying even like Amazon, but like these large multi-billion-dollar companies, the amount that's been paid into them versus the amount that they've actually given out is astronomical. And people are going to be like, this has to stop. There's only so much profit or price gouging that can be occurred. Like, the greed is insane. So that's going to be coming to big news. Like, people are going to, like, this is the part where this is being exposed to an extreme level, where people are like, okay, where the hell is the money going? Where the actual hell is this money going? Because it's currently not going back to us. So that's what it kind of feels like here with the greed, and that being a major expose or a major thing coming up here in 2025. Now let's go with the perversion here. Let's take a look, y'all. So we have evidence tampering, victimize. We have find the vehicle, marauding dreadship. And we have arcbound prototype, first draft. Interesting. What does this have to do with perversion here in 2025? Gosh, bless it. So this currently, or could be, I'm just going to say it. So this could be the Epstein list actually being released in its full entirety. Because what I'm giving here is, this could be the Epstein list, or this could be the Diddy list of who was all the people attending the Diddy parties. This will just be the entire list. This is going to be the guest log, the guest log. Something like along those lines is coming out. Why I say that? We have evidence tampering, but we have also finding the vehicle. So like there's some sort of log, because it's giving me ships have like their ship logs where they're going to and from, to and fro, to like, is that to an island, is that to a party, is that like we are keeping the information and where something is going and where something started and where something's going and who, what, when, where, why, and because with this evidence tampering as well, the victimize, if you're looking at the imagery, this is this individual in the middle of like a summoning circle of some sort. Look at all of that weird ass sort of cult type of behavior going on. I don't know, that looks like a ritual of some sort with maybe niños or niñas. Hello. With the first draft down here, the arcbound prototype, this is going to be the first draft of a... So it's like, what this feels like would be, this is going to be the first list that comes out. Because it's like, we need to gauge the public's response to the list. It's like this first list that comes out, because it feels like this is the first draft, this is the first list, because there's secondary, tertiary, and so forth, other lists that can and will be done. But it's like the first one needs to come out, and we need to gauge the response from the public before, otherwise we might like have people's minds broken with actually who's all on these lists. Just letting y'all know. Because that's what this feels like. The list for Epstein, the actual client list for Epstein, the actual flight logs or travel logs for Diddy parties. They're only getting we're only getting a first draft of the list, and then a second one is coming out with just how many people and at how high of a level they are involved. That's what this feels like to me, and that's what we're seeing here in 2025 is the first draft of that going out, to kind of gauge the response of what the public has, because it's like we're trying to balance a very fine line here. Okay, that was cool. I'm gonna have to do this more. I like using these together. That's really cool. Okay. Okay, now I want to take a look at some very specific CEOs that I think, or former CEOs that people have had a lot of questions around. So, or might have questions around. And I'm not going to be able to get to everyone, but I am going to go with some of the biggest names that we know of. So, the first one I want to look at is Bill Gates. What are we going to know? Can we look at Bill Gates as the major CEO here? Major CEO, major owner of Microsoft. So I want to take a look at him. And are there any worries for him as a CEO coming here in 2025? So let's take a look, because things are happening, it feels like, very rapidly here. Age of Aquarius is here, and things are like really speeding up. Even though we've had Mercury's currently in retrograde, Mars just went into retrograde. I think there's another planet in retrograde as well, which causes like sometimes how do I put this? Issues, slow down in communications. Mars in retrograde is currently here for I think the next 6 to 10 weeks as the time I'm filming, and that causes things to be kind of gnarly, kind of hairy, and people are emotions, passions. People are a little bit more aggressive, and people are gonna maybe like cut a bitch. So okay, let's get into Bill Gates though here. 3 of Cups upright. Coming into 2025. He's known this has been coming, so he's, I think, well protected in where he's at. Looking here with the 3 of Cups, it's like, I have friends. I'm working with other people to do different things. Also, with the High Priestess upright, it's like, I've known this has been coming. He's pretty in tune with things going on around him. This is really interesting energy here, because like what I'm also getting here with like, we're seeing a little bit of a grove. He has a grove here in the 3 of Cups and a grove here with the High Priestess. He has isolated himself wherever he's at. I don't see him coming out in public a bit or a lot in 2025. I do see him very isolated, working on his craft or looking more with like places with water or natural resources in some way. From a financial influences here, he also I will say secrets are going to be coming out against him. So that's why he's like, I'm just going to kind of stay low, because it does feel like how he's made his money and how much money he's made versus he's given away. There's secrets coming out against him around his finances this coming year, which has caused him to be like, I'm just going into my little grove where I'm going to hide away. And he knows this is coming. His hopes and his fears is he's going to be able to kind of it's giving me the sense that he's hoping to be able to walk away from the burdens or all these issues, challenges, and troubles that the world is kind of throwing at him with all the money that he's made. It does feel like his hope is like, I'm just going to be able to walk away from this whole situation because you know what? I've chosen to walk away from this situation. Expect more. I'm expecting major donations to green energy development, and to his VC firm. I think he's got a major VC firm. I can't remember it off the top of my head. But he's got a major VC firm that specifically is looking at green energy technologies. I just can't remember it off the top of my head. And I would expect more money and more businesses that are implementing green energy initiatives for more money to get put into initiatives such as that. Because he's wanting to work together with others for like a planetary alignment and here's the really weird thing. I'm not getting eyes wide shut with him. Maybe he was in it way long ago, but currently he is not in it. And he's trying to isolate himself as much as possible away from those influences. His unseen obstacles is the Knight of Pentacles here, which is progress moving forward. So he's not stuck, but he is slow moving. Because it's like, he wants to move fast, but he's unable to move fast in any one direction. Something's really slowing him down. And I think a lot of that is coming from a lot of people don't trust him. 3 of Swords reversed. This is the healing. This is the moving on. And him rebuilding his reputation. So there's some big bombshell, it feels like, that comes out about his finances. How he's made his money, the amount of money he's put into, where his money has gone. Big bombshell there. And then as soon as that bombshell is dropped, there's a lot of people that lose favor with him or don't want to work with him, don't see him as this great person. He is it's like his reputation gets flipped on his head. And with that reputation, he everything that he has been working on, planning on, has just halted or stopped or not moved as fast as it could have, considering he, I think, needs things to move faster for him, but it's not working in that way. What's going for him is the King of Wands reversed. So he's got a lot of his hands in a lot of different places, but with his hand in so many different places, he has burnt himself out. But I'm also getting here, this is like he's put his wand in places that he shouldn't have, and that's causing, I think, people to not look at him in a good way as well. But it does give people some empathy. Here in the past, the Three of Wands, he's already started on this how do I do things differently phase. He's been doing this for a while. Three of Wands reversed. He's like, I got to reevaluate, rechange some things, and then here in the future, the Emperor on top. So for Bill Gates, I do see him being in a pretty good leadership position and in a position to help. Again, I'm getting this major sense of, do I think, y'all are gonna think I'm crazy, but did he have like an encounter with like beings from outside of the planet? And they came to him and were like, you need to get your shit together. Otherwise, you're a problem. And we can't have you being a problem. So change a Rooney what you're doing. Otherwise, we'll change a Rooney you. I don't know why I'm seeing extraterrestrials in that way, but like extraterrestrials feel like they scared the shit out of him for some reason. And with that, he's like, okay, I gotta change my tune. I gotta get back on the straight and narrow, because it's like, out of everyone, he's the one with the most money, and money we've seen is power. And with money and power, you're able to get things done. And with Bill Gates, it's like, I need to get shit done. Otherwise, it's like he's scared of the ETs. And again, that's just something I'm picking up on. That's not seen in the cards. It's just a weird download. Okay. So that's Mr. Bill Gates. So next person I want to look at is Iger, actually. Bob Iger of Disney, the Disney CEO. So I wanted to take a look at him just because we're looking at tech. We've looked at tech. We're now going into entertainment. Disney is a huge entertainment company worldwide. You could pretty much call them almost a monopoly at this point. I didn't say it. Actually, I just did say it, but you know what? You don't have to believe me. So, but yes, Disney is pretty much a monopoly in my, what I'm saying. So, they hold an entertainment monopoly. Come on, when you buy a parent, like they've bought Paramount, they've got, what is it? I forget which one they got. Is it HBO? They got their Disney Plus. They have ESPN. They've got so much stuff. They got Marvel. They've got so many different things underneath their belt that I'm like, how can they? And weren't they just thinking of buying up a, what's it called? Like a gaming studio somewhere? I don't know. But they're a monopoly at this point in the entertainment industry. So let's take a look at Bob Iger and what's kind of maybe to expect for Bob and the Disney brand as a whole. Seven of Cups, they got different options. He's looking to step down again, it looks like. I got options available to me when it comes to what's going on with everything in this world. He's got past decisions that are coming up here, and he's like, how do I get myself out of them? How do I get myself out of them? I gotta double check something really quick here. Okay, I just had to remember the name of the guy who was before Iger. Actually, who was between Iger. So it was Bob Iger, then it was Chapek, and then it was Iger. It feels like he might be trying to do something similar again with how this whole thing happened. Because what I'm seeing here is we have a lot of different options from things in our past that we maybe weren't so proud of. So if I'm remembering correctly with how Bob Iger, so he stepped down or left Disney. Then they had Chapek come in. And then Chapek did all these massive changes apparently at Disney that no one liked. And then they got him fired, and then they brought Iger back. if you guys want me to take a look really closely at what was going on there, but what I'm seeing is that there was maybe decisions that Chapek stepped into that was made under Bob Iger's leadership. He stepped into, and Chapek was the one who had to implement those changes that Iger wanted to make, but Chapek was the one who had to implement them. And Chapek implemented them poorly because they were decisions that wasn't going to be done well within the fan base of Disney. So like Chapek was almost set up to fail and have Iger come in as this star hero again to right the ship is what it looks like. And it's like it feels like there might be more decisions coming who's like he doesn't want to be tied to. As from a financial influence here, the Ten of Pentacles. They want to maintain their status, their monopoly, their dominance, having this long-term success here within their career. Again, it's like I got bad thing. There were implementations. Oh gosh. Because the hopes and fears here is the Queen of Cups upright. He's got different options. But with that Queen of Cups upright and hopes and fears, it's like I'm looking at the past, I'm looking at the future, and I'm looking at the present. Again, it looks like he wants to step down from Disney, have someone come into place to implement changes that he doesn't want to be tied to, and then have him come back in and be the hero for a third time. It's super weird because it's like, I was here, had a break, came back. Now it's like, I think he wants to do the same thing. It's like, he was here, then he leaves, someone else comes in, they implement the things that he wanted to do. He doesn't want his name tied to him, and then here in the future. This is I mean, honestly, good on him for not being tied to these really weird decisions, but whatever. The unseen obstacle here is just making the decision. Two of Swords. He is in this indecision. He's really indecisive right now if this is the road he wants to go down again. Because it's like, I did this once before. Do I want to do it again? And we're kind of stuck in the, I got to make a decision. Am I turning left or am I turning right? The other challenge here is bad business contracts or business deals with the Six of Pentacles. What I think he wants to implement, people aren't going to be happy with. This is going to be more money into the. This is an unequal exchange. It's like more money to one entity versus the other. It's like I'm robbing Peter to pay Paul. And from Iger's position, it's like I also wonder if he's thinking if he'll get hired back for a third time, because there is a fear here of if I step down now, he does not believe he might get invited back for a third time. What's going for him, though, is the Two of Wands. He is doing a lot of rethinking, a lot of reevaluating about this decision and like where he wants to go, because I do see him wanting to head her on out. He wants to go into irrelevancy again. Well, not irrelevancy, but he wants to go into an incognito mode where he can direct things from the shadows. He gets his consultant fee, and then he gets to direct things from the shadow, but his name isn't tied to bad decisions, because like, his reputation means a lot to him. His reputation as the Disney CEO means so much to him that it's like, I will do anything to protect that reputation, even if I have to step down and then direct things from behind the scenes. Iger has his hands in the upper echelon of Disney so hard that even if a new CEO came in and wanted to change things, it will still always be Iger's decisions and will still be Iger's direction, because the new CEO will never be able to have that power, because he is so Iger just has so, like, I'm just seeing it and he's like, this is my position. Unless I am dead, this is my position. Again, he gets paid probably a humongous consulting fee behind the scenes with things. Here in the past, we have the Nine of Cups reversed. I'm seeing this as manifestations not met, directions not met. So I do see that for Mr. Bob Iger, here in the past, it does feel that he is going through some major, the direction that he wants to go into. He sees that it won't be good for his reputation moving forward, and here in the future, the magician reverse, we're going to see him doing his snake oil salesman tactics. He's probably going to try and get a new CEO in. They're probably going to try and get a new person in, because he's like, I know the direction I want to take things in. And again, he's so protective over his reputation, but he's like, this is where I want to take the company, but he does not want those bad decisions to fall on him. He just doesn't, and he will do anything to not be seen in a negative light. That's what I'm seeing for him, and him kind of lying or doing what he can to manipulate situations behind the scenes. That's what I see for Bob Iger here in 2025. He seems to be kind of just minding his own dang business over there in the middle of in Disneyland, Disney World, wherever he's located. So I wouldn't imagine anything too different, just more internal politics than anything. All right, let's go with Mr. Bezos, because I'm sure everyone's going to ask, goes, Jeffrey Bezos, what's going on? He is not the current CEO of Amazon anymore, so... But everyone's going to be like, what can we expect from Mr. Bezos? And I'm like, okay, let's take a look at Mr. Bezos. And then if you guys want me to read on any other CEOs, let me know in the comments down below, because I think this is the last one that kind of comes to my mind. And we can kind of go from there. So let's take a look here. I mean, I have someone I'd like to read on, but that's just a personal thing. So let's take a look here at Mr. Jeffrey Bezos. What can we expect for him here in 2025? Is there anything we should know as the former CEO, the former CEO of Amazon, and a major stockholder still of the company, I believe. But you know what? So let's take a look here. What can we expect from Mr. Jeffrey Bezos in 2025? Oh, the High Priestess reversed. He is manipulating things behind the scenes. He is not... He's also got, it feels like, some bad juju coming his way. Why is this the Queen of Swords? Is his wife coming out against him in some way? His former ex-wife, I should say. Queen of Swords reversed. Focus, please. Okay, you are focused. What I get here is he has a feminine energy or someone coming out and wanting to speak against him. He's known this for a while. With that High Priestess just showing up. He's like known about this for a while. He's been kind of seeing it. Also, is he like a really spiritual person? Or is like he kind of has he talked about mysticism or like visions or dreams of that sort? Because it feels like he's either had like readings done or he's had some like medium or tarot reader or someone who's kind of come out and he's gone to personally and is like been, yeah, you have this woman or presence around you who's gunning for you. And it feels like he does know about it, but he's not. He's kind of just ignoring it because he's got like other shit on his plate. From a financial influence here, the Ten of Swords, a backstabbing and betrayal. Someone's coming after his money, and they're coming after it real hard, whatever money he does have. Whoop. We have the Six of Cups here as the hopes and fears. Is like I hope that like my kids, this could be kids, this could be, does he have back child support? Is that what this is? Does he have back child support that he's not paying to like, because do they have kids? Maybe not. But like, is there like a payment that he's not paying somewhere? And like someone's coming out and saying it like, did he stop giving someone hush money or like shut up money? Because there's someone with kids here, then like the hopes and the fears, like I hope my kids are okay. There's kids or something in the past is going to like stay happy and like just gonna stay there, and that's like the hope here. However, the unseen obstacle, there's a lot of people who are going to come out with some lies. It feels like there's almost like a smear campaign coming out against Mr. Jeffrey Bezos. That Magician reversed. There's a smear campaign. Someone wants to get his reputation in the dirt. Ooh. Okay, and the other challenge is the devil reversed. So, how do I put this? So, as I've been seeing in Hollywood and celebrities, it feels like there's like an all out, like it's a everyone's for themselves. It's like everyone's cannibalizing each other in Hollywood. People are throwing other people underneath the bus. Jeffrey Bezos is a part of that. He's someone people are wanting to throw underneath the bus about things that he's done and the such. And people are, it's like, because he stepped down like 2-3 years ago now already. And when he stepped down, I know it was big news. And after he stepped down, it's like, that's how I'm distancing myself. I'm stepping down to distance myself from this craziness that's about to like pop off. Things that he wanted to like just not come to light. And so it feels like he's getting dragged back into this. The challenge is he's trying to walk away from the devil and he's unable to. The challenge is the devil keeps reeling him back in by that chain, because like once the chain has been, it's like he's never been able to unattach the chain because people keep dragging him back into the situation. What's going for him? He's getting out of his comfort zone in some way. The hermit, there's also like a light being shined somewhere. He's getting out of his comfort zone and being put in different situations and within or different people. I don't know if we expect like a bit, like he has a smear campaign coming against him, but the smear campaign might not be a public smear campaign. It's like this is a personal smear campaign going on behind the scenes with maybe law enforcement or agencies or within friend groups more. Because here in the past, the King of Pentacles having lots of money, and then here in the future, bad business deals, and bad dealings in general. So as we know, like it seems like Hollywood elites, celebrities, anyone with an income above X, Y, and Z has been a part of some sort of club. It seems like we've been seeing. I've seen that seems to be the default, and it does feel here. Jeffrey Bezos. Again, I don't know if he's in the club per se. Again, he's distanced himself from whatever sort of weird ass club that was, or he's tried to distance himself from that weird ass club. But it feels like that with everything going on and all the deals and stuff that are going on and people getting immunity, some people are like having things done separately over here. He's getting a really bad deal. A bad plea deal, a bad immunity deal where somehow he's able to get prosecuted or have something come out against him in the future. And that's just the energy of him coming up here in 2025. I don't believe any of this will be public, but this is all kind of stuff behind the scenes. He's getting smeared to high heaven and back. Like, he's being portrayed as someone who he isn't. Or he's being portrayed as his character is not a good character. But it's like people are throwing him underneath the bus more often on the things that he's done to make themselves look like the lesser evil, when in reality they're blowing things out of proportion that Jeffrey Bezos has done comparative to themselves. That's what I'm seeing here for my CEOs here in 2025. The only one it feels like we're actually going to be hearing a lot about is going to be Mr. Bill Gates. But again, if you have a different CEO you want me to look at, let me know. Leave them down in the comments below, and I would be more than happy to take a look, because it does feel like this is the year of expose after expose after expose for CEOs. It probably won't be super, super early in the year for a couple of them, but it does feel like we're going to be having... It's going to be more profits and more company-based rather than CEO-based, but the passing of Brian Thompson has sparked a fear. But it's also sparked we've had enough from a general public standpoint. And it does cause real fear and concern, but it's not going to change the direction of CEOs and companies until there is more direct instability for them, which is definitely coming if they don't get their shit together, and I don't see them getting their shit together. So thank you all so very much for watching. If you agree with me, or if you don't, feel free, like, comment, subscribe down below. If you want to see more content like this, feel free. I got a ton of different content about different things in pop culture, news, business, and the such. I really enjoy doing this. So if you have suggestions, let me know. Otherwise, if you guys are interested, here at the end of the reading, I got a few readings that you guys might be interested in, if you so want. So go check those out. And again, if you'd like to book a private reading, website link down below. If you want to join YouTube members, pinned comment. You can join. $3 a month. You get access to exclusive readings, extended readings, discounts, as well as access into members' lives, where we get to talk about topics that you want to see unfiltered, uncensored, and they get a little juicy. So thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.